What better way to make my least favorite season of the year, summer, more bearable than combining it with my favorite hobby, reading, than making a summer TBR. Hey guys, this is RyeMi and welcome into my next video. This is my creative journal and as you can probably guess, we are going to make my summer TBR list. And for a good measure, I will throw in some TV series as well. Okay, so let's open this journal. This is a Moleskine journal and I absolutely hate it, so I don't really recommend it. It is incredibly pricey for what it is. I am just trying to fill it out because I find it a waste to just throw it away. So I have made this my creative journal and it means I usually cover most of these pages up, so I don't really have to deal with all of these yellow pages, and they are also incredibly thin and transparent. So that's probably my first and last Moleskine journal I have ever had. Anyway, I have not worked in this journal for a long time, and last time I opened this was actually for my end of year TBR and TB watch lists, and there are a few more books I finished since I last checked in, so I think we can very quickly add check marks to all of the books I have already finished. I have this cute little sticker sheet for that. So let's see, I have finished Dead Poets Society and To Catch a Razor as well. So from this spread there is only one Terry Pratchett book I have not finished yet, and hopefully one day I want to read at least one or two Terry Pratchett books this year. Maybe this one will get read, maybe something else, I'm not sure yet. Okay, and over on this page I have finished Devils and Night and the Moth and Cold Magic as well. Perfect. Okay, so that is way more than I expected to finish. I am not going to lie, because I love making all of these lists and TBRs, but not always do I get a chance to read everything or as much as possible. And this time it seems I have done a pretty good job. Okay, for the TB watch list, I have not made any progress in the Vampire Diaries, and I don't really want to watch it now. Maybe during autumn the taste for this series will come back, but not for now. Okay, so let's finally start on the summer TBR list. And this is what we are working with today. I have printed book cover for every book I want to read, and first I need to cut everything. So in here I have few TV series. Let's put those on the side for now. And these are all the book covers. I know I probably won't be able to read everything that is in here, but I will for sure do my best. I also like making these lists because when I have no idea what I would like to read, I usually find something that piques my interest when I look at these lists, so that makes the decision making much more easy for me. Okay, now that I look at all of these book covers, because I just printed everything and I did not analyze the book covers, so now that I look at them, I see there are quite a few of the books with blue covers, and maybe we could do something with that. Maybe I could color code my pages. I think that might be fun, because honestly guys, I've just spent like an hour sitting and thinking about what to do with this spread. Even though I am very excited to work on this, I kind of have no idea how to approach this, and yeah, I got into this procrastination phase when I just don't do anything. So I had to tell myself to just start working on this, and it will somehow turn out, and if it will look extremely bad, I can always start again. So here I am trying to make the best out of this situation. Let's separate all the blue book covers And yes, there is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, as it was on this list, but I have already started reading this book, so hopefully it will get finished by the end of the summer. Okay, so this is every blue book cover. Now this is slightly blue, this as well, this is brown. We have some yellows and some punchy book covers, and these two are white, red and black. I have not noticed that I chose two books like this. Yeah, I really did not look at the book covers almost at all. And we have one that is cream and green. Maybe I could have Divergent with these. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out how to make this look nice, because I just love doing that. I just love working on my pages, even when sometimes I am quite nervous and I don't know what to do. But you know what? I'm just going to have fun and I will figure something out. Also, I have so much summer themed stationery and I am so excited to use everything that I have. That's why this idea came to mind. I will also try and make every spread slightly different, because yeah, there will be spreads looking at how many book covers I have printed. Okay, I will do a blue pile. Let's see maybe how many books I can fit in one page. So if I really want to, I can have 8 books on one page. I think I will want to have some decoration on the side, so that's why I am not putting anything in here. But I could fit 12 books on one page, and I don't want that. I would rather make more pages with more decoration that will have less book covers on them. Okay, maybe we could put these 4 on one page. That might look nice. This one will just fit wherever, and then we have these two that are completely different than anything else. First, let's maybe do cover page or something like that. My only idea about this page was that I could maybe use this beautiful washi tape by Marigona Sully, and I could maybe just put it on the whole page. That might look nice and interesting, and it is something I am not doing usually on my pages, so it might be something different for me, and I might like that, I might not. But this year I am aiming to try and do different types of decorating my pages, and so far I am having great time with that, even when sometimes the page does not look good, to me at least, but it is a great opportunity to learn new stuff. So that's what I'm doing this year. A bit more down here. Okay, this looks kind of cute, and I'm going to leave this uneven edge in here. Maybe I will change my mind later, but for now it will stay there. And I want to clean up this page. Look at this. That's so pretty, and there are these golden details as well. So cute. So I think I should work on the title next. And I have printed this title, so my idea was to tear every single letter and have it on the page like this. But I am not sure if this color of the paper is working. Also, it is maybe a bit big, the title. I might have printed it too big. Okay, let's just see how the word summer would look. Well, it's actually kind of cute, kind of summery, which, yes, I was aiming for. But I don't know. Let's try maybe a brown paper. I have this Archer & Olive paper pad, and I am using this brown paper a lot. So I don't have that many pages left in here. Okay, actually there is a piece of paper. So I'll go with this, and I could maybe use my stamps. These are slightly smaller than this title. Well, it will actually look just like this title. So I want to see how it looks. And then I will decide which title I will use. Okay, I might use some glue for the washi tape down here. This is my black ink. I have had this for like 10 years and I have no idea how it is still working. Well, maybe because I am not using it as much, but I will definitely need refill one day and I have no idea how I will go about that, where I will find suitable ink, but that is a worry for another day. Let's just do summer. Well, I hope it is dry and I'm going to do this as well. I just love it when there is this tiered edge, so that's why I am doing this, even when it is not so precise and everything turns out slightly differently. Well, I mean of different size. But that's the charm, I think. Well, that was very close. Maybe I could use scissors. Yeah, that will make it, I think, easier to tear in the right place. Okay. Oh, that's so small. I love this so much. Okay, so let's see which one I will like better. It is definitely fiddly. Well, I don't know. I kind of like this. I am not very kind of like colorful person. I very rarely choose something this bright, so I don't know. Okay, let's see if I can add brown ink to the edges, how that will make it look. I hope it will make this stand out a bit more. Okay, maybe let's forget about this and let's work on this page. Once this will be finished, then I can see what I like better. Maybe I just need to not look at this for a little while. So I could maybe have these books in here and maybe these green ones, I'm not sure. Or maybe I could go with this. No, blue does not work in here. Something like this. Okay, and then I think this brown title would work better. This is so difficult for me because I kind of like both of these. And this was not my first intention, but maybe I could do some kind of like very small waterfall tabs. So I will cut off just a bit of this page. Then it will kind of make it more obvious that there is more to this list than just this page. Yeah, okay, let's try that. And I'm thinking I will do 3 spreads. So this is the first one. Then I will have a blue one. And then I will have a page for the TV series and maybe some of the remaining book covers will go in there. So that's 3, which means this will be the last one. Now, I really don't want to cut off too much, so maybe just this much. And for this page, maybe this much. And this needs some gluing. I could maybe use this tape at the edge, but it might be too much. So maybe I will use this simple light brown grit tape, or maybe even this one. So this is like muted orange color, and I think it fits with these flowers a lot. So yeah, I will go with this one. I decided I will go with this, but I will try and make this bigger so the letters won't be as lost on the page as they are now. I will do, well, something similar as I did last year. I have used the exact same stamps, but I have tiered bigger chunks of the paper. So that's what I think I'm going to do. Maybe if I had some kind of green paper, that would look also nice. I have this green, but that might be too much. Also, I would have to write the title because I don't have ink that would be visible on this paper. Okay, let's see if I put it next to the book covers. Well, it would definitely bring in some more contrast. Oh man, I really can't decide. That is the worst part of working on these pages. I just never know what to do. Okay, I have my white jelly roll pen. I am awful at writing, so okay, that's so bad. But let's just see how that would look. This will take a bit to dry. Okay, I have done a terrible job at this, but what do we think? That's actually not that bad. I'm going to look up some easy font and I will try and attempt to write my title. Yeah, I really don't like doing that because my writing is awful. Okay, I was kind of lazy to go and look for font, so I just did my normal handwriting and I just hope it will look okay. Let's quickly take this off. I am not sure if I will include the word list in this title. Depends on how it will look on the page. So first I'm going to add these letters on the page, and then depending on how that will look, I might include this or I might not. Oh no. Well, that did not go as planned, but I can write another one. Okay, so we need one more M because I tore this off very small, and R for the one that I ripped off. Let's do it now so that the jelly roll pen has time to dry. So M, and I could have maybe written this slightly bigger, but the bigger I am trying my writing to make, it looks so much worse. So this is kind of like my maximum font size, and I hope it will be okay. So let's arrange this. I kind of like that the title takes the whole page, and I'm just trying to space it out nicely. And let's see what decoration I could maybe put in here, or maybe nothing. I have this sticker sheet that kind of matches with colors, so I might use some of these stacks, or I might use them on this page. Okay, so let's put only the title on this page, and I'm going to use this Prit liquid glue because the dry glues I have are not always the best, especially when you put them on top of the washi tape. It is curling up slightly, but that will get resolved once I close the notebook and it will get flattened with time, so I am not that worried about that. For this page, I have mentioned these stickers. I might use maybe this one up here. And let's use this plant in there as well. And maybe I could use some of these flowers. I am sure there are some yellows and oranges, something like this, or maybe even this could look really nice. If I put these brighter colors on the top section of the page, I would kind of like to have similarly colored flowers on the other side of the page as well, just to make it at least slightly balanced. Okay, I can use this one. Okay, perfect. And maybe one more, maybe even this white one. So I'll put it like that. And then up here or there. I really like this little corner we've got here. I might put some of these small papers I have teared off of these, just like this, just to add something darker in here. Okay, that actually looks kind of nice, and I'm just using scraps, so that's fun. I really like using as much of the stationery as possible without wasting anything. Okay, and this one. And I'm going to put a piece in here as well. Okay, that might be looking stupid, but I don't care. Okay, so now about the book covers, and I might tell you a bit about each of these books, so you are not looking just at the book covers. The Handle with Care. This is actually a book I got as an ALC, Advanced Listening copy from the Libro FM. I discovered Libro FM few months ago, I think in December maybe, and I am loving it so far. If you don't know, Libro FM is alternative to Audible, and they work very similarly as the Audible works. So you can either buy the books or you can subscribe and get credit each month and use that. But one big difference is that they are supporting indie bookstores. So with every single purchase of either the audiobook or the credit, you are supporting your chosen bookstore. They have this ALC program, and I applied and they approved, which I am extremely happy about. And I take this as an opportunity to discover books that maybe otherwise I would not have picked up, because it is so easy to just watch some videos about people talking about books and choose something from their list, because they will tell you if they liked it or not. They will tell you what it is about. It is all good. I love doing that, but sometimes I miss that when I was younger. I just went to the bookstore, I read blurb at the back of the book, and I picked book based on that. I did not know anything about the ratings or what other people think about those books. I just didn't know nothing. And with the ALC program, I technically know nothing about these books except the synopsis, and I can only see the book cover, because some of these books are new releases and some have been released for a while. Yeah, I just love that, and I don't think I would pick this book if it was not in that program and if I was not reading what it is about. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, to be fully transparent, I got this book for free, and I will review it in the upcoming months. And you guys know that if I don't like something, I will tell you. So you won't hear from me like false amazing review or anything like that, because there is a lot talk about this recently, and it is so hard on people who review ARCs or ALCs. So, I just want to be upfront with you. And I have not said anything about this book yet. So, Handle with Care is about, I think, 3 women who go to the post office to send a letter that will probably change their life once it is sent and received. But when they are there is, I think, husband and wife who have some dispute, and the guy takes out a gun. And so they are all held hostage in there, and there is some kind of person who is trying to talk him out of something. And through them, I think that we will learn the story of all of these 3 or 4 people that are involved. I'm really curious. I have read some of the few reviews that were there, and they said that you can't expect like too much of the mystery element of this, but that it was otherwise very good read. So I'm really interested, because it is something different than what I would usually pick, and I really want to kind of broaden my horizons with the books I'm reading, because I love fantasy, but with time it kind of all feels the same. So I am trying to branch out a little in different areas of literature, and yeah, I am very curious to see if there will be some other genre that I will fall in love as much as with fantasy. So this year is kind of like my experimenting year or something like that. Okay, next I have Yesteryear, and this is a book you have probably heard a lot about recently. This is about a thread wife who has, I think, 6 children and husband, and she is living her perfect life. At least that's what she pretends on social media. But behind the scenes, she has lots of nannies and tutors and all of that. And I have a feeling she will be extremely unsufferable person. I don't know why, but I have that feeling. And okay, so one day she wakes up in different time. She still has her husband and her children, but everything seems slightly different. And she is definitely not in the present year as she was the day before. So we have some time traveling in here, and I'm really curious to see what this is about, especially after I think Anne Hathaway bought rights to this and there will be a movie. I have no idea, but I am really curious to see what this is about. Okay, next I picked up Sarafina. I think this book was published last year and it is about, I think, three brothers. Okay, I have to say this. I have not read any of these books and I have read through their synopsis, but I might not remember everything correctly. So nothing I say here is probably 100% correct. This is just something I remember about these books, and it's what made me excited to read this. To be honest, I don't even want to know more about them before I start reading them, because I would love to know as little as possible about every single book I'm going to read, but of course I have to know something to pick it up. So this one I also got from the ALC program, and this is a fantasy horror story about, I think, three brothers who ran from the war front, and they ran to a deep forest and they found a cabin in there, and in that cabin lives a beautiful woman with her son, and she seems to be very nice to them, takes care of them, but something does not feel right. And yeah, I'm really curious about this book. Next I have chosen Fruit Fly, again from the ALC program, and I don't really know what this book is about. I think it's about a writer or about how to write a book, I have no idea, but the bold text of the synopsis says, anyone can write a bestseller, here's how. Go gay, go sad, and go dark. It really piqued my interest and I am really curious to see what is going on in this book. Next I have Fire and Night, and all I remember about this book is that it is a fantasy romance. There is also a war going on. It is supposed to be if Pride and Prejudice met Skyrim. Yeah, anything Pride and Prejudice versus something immediately piques my interest, so I'm really curious about this book. There is a man that is from the military and they send him to a village to recruit people. I have no idea. And there is a woman living in there and they decide that if they marry each other, it will be prosperous for both of them. At least that's what I think this is about. The first time I have read about this book is from Manda Maid's Reading Journal Update. I will definitely link it down in the description because she made so many people want to read this series. At least that's what I gather from all the comments. So I will definitely link her video down below and she will tell you so much more about this book. And the last one is 1984. And yeah, it's dystopian classic and I don't know that much about it despite it being, I guess, a well-loved classic. This has been on my TBR for so long, so hopefully I will finally get to this. I am kind of missing something here. Maybe I could put this washi tape in there just to fill up the page a bit. Okay, and maybe down here as well. Let's see if something from this washi tape will work in here as well. This is from the washi tape shop, just as these flowers are, and this is absolutely beautiful. It is not the exact same shade of green as this is, but it could work. Maybe I could use this branch and let's put it here on the side. Okay, maybe there. Yeah, I love that. So now I need to figure out what to put there. Okay, let's do this plant and let's maybe make it go from here. Okay, let's try this leaf. Yeah, perfect. Oh, and we have a green butterfly. I just really want to have a bit more green on this side because this is very, very dark and green. So let's actually rearrange that like this, and maybe I could have this leaf down here. Okay, and something small needs to be there. Let's try this butterfly and let's make it sit on this book. Okay, that's actually kind of nice. This is the spread number 1. Okay, it does not look as awful as I feared it would. So that's positive. I especially like how I did this corner. Also, this page is lovely. Now let's flip onto the next page, and here I should put all the books with blue book covers. So let's secure this and let's see how I might organize these. Okay, so maybe like this. I don't know, I just put them on the page and they somehow ended up being in this configuration and I kind of like it, so I guess I will go with this. I will kind of do some swaps here and there. Okay, so maybe darker ones up top and lighter ones down here. I think this works better since this pink matches this pink. Yeah, I am very particular about positioning my books. Okay, so we have just 2 books left and I could maybe fit them in here, but since I want to fill 3 spreads, I would have nothing to put on the next page. So I am leaving these 2 books for that. And now let's find some blue and maybe purple stationery to use on this page. I have these washi tapes by Marigona Sully with some pink and purple flowers, so that might be an option. This one is also from her and this is the newest of her releases, so I would really love to use this. Let's look at this washi tape. This is again from the washi tape shop, and as always, everything used in the video is linked in the description. Well, this girl looks like she was reading. We have some girl writing maybe in her diary, or she can be writing a book, who knows. Another girl writing. I can maybe use one from those. She is also cute, or maybe her. I'll have this next to me and I will decide on which one to use once I figure out other decorations. I have this blue sky tape, but I think I have purple one as well. This one might work even better. Maybe let's look at these. I absolutely did not think this page through, so I am kind of lost right now. I'm sure I will find something that will work on this page. Okay, there is some blue on these stickers, maybe. But you know what, let's just start with this washi tape. I will put it in here, I guess on the bottom of the spread, just to do something, because I could overthink this very easily. Okay, that's so lovely, and I'm going to use this on the top. I should also use something on this edge, just so we have some separation of the different waterfall tapes. I would maybe love to use some kind of grit tape. I have found this one. It is thin and I think it will work nicely with any of the girls I will choose for this page. It kind of makes this slightly weirdly decorated, I think, but it is what it is. And maybe it will turn out really, really nice. Yeah, I love this. Okay, and maybe let's just use this on the other side as well, just so I am not putting any other washi tape in here, because I think 3 is already enough. I just could not help it. I want to use a lot of my summer stationery on these pages. I have spent so much time organizing these, and then I do this. Well, I guess I would need to rearrange those either way, depending on the decoration I will use. I am kind of drawn to this girl, and let's have her in the corner. Okay, that's lovely. I'm missing something in here. Maybe just this washi tape could go there. And as always, I want to put something in the opposite corner as well. Maybe something smaller, so something from this page. Let's do these hands. Oh, that's lovely. I love that. There is this ink pot with ink splatters. I might use those. Okay, maybe a bit to the side, just so it is not visible from the previous page. Let's put that there. A few more of these splotches along the edge. And let's do a star. Okay, so now I'm going to rearrange these book covers, and then I will see how much space there is left for maybe a bit more decoration. Okay, so I'd love to have this somewhere close to the girl, which means Starless Sea will be there as well. And this one, this has slightly purplish tone. This in here, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is kind of unusual, but I also like how this looks. I also might put this girl. I just love this washi tape so much, and I don't have that many opportunities to use these stickers. Lovely. And I brought in a bit of this yellow, which works, I think, well with these 3 book covers. Let's maybe have this backpack. Does that make sense? Not really, but it is pink and we need something in there. I want to look at these flowers as well. Okay, there is a blue one. I might use that behind the girl, but I will cut it instead of putting the flower sticker behind her, because washi tapes are quite transparent and it would be visible, so I would rather do this. Now this flower might go behind this sticker, and this is pretty thick, so it is not transparent. Let's see how that looks. That's kind of cute. This white one under there, this is really not thought through at all, so I am kind of all over the place, but I still hope you are having nice time watching this video. I kind of want one more flower there. Light blue with some purple tones, it might work well. This does not want to unpeel. Maybe like this. I don't know. It might be too big. I will move it. And I will cut it off here because I can. And it will make this purple flower visible at least. Oh, we have this dark flower. I could maybe use that behind this girl. No, but I'm going to take off this backpack and use it here with, let's use maybe this purple, well, pink. And I might put some flowers behind these book covers as well. Okay, let's maybe have this down here. This can go here, and I'll put this yellow flower there, so it will be slightly covered up by the Divergent book. This pink maybe here, just to have something in the middle of the page. Yeah, I like that. And this light blue in here. Okay, let's start with Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. As you have noticed, I have had this in my previous seasonal TBR. This time I am really planning on finishing this. I have already started, and I don't know how I feel about this book. I am not really excited to pick it up. I am interested enough to continue, but I have finished the first quarter and I kind of feel like about it. So I don't know. I hope it will get maybe more interesting for me later. I don't know, but we'll see. I definitely plan on giving it a bit more time to see how I will like it. Okay, next we have My Brilliant Friend. This is partly a pick for my Read Around the World challenge, because Elena Ferrante is Italian author, I think. And this is very loved book about 2 friends, and this 4-book series just tells a story about their lives. There must be something about this series because so many people love this. I decided to give this a go after Emily from Books with Emily Fox talked so much about this series, and I have a pretty similar taste to her, so I hope I will really like this. Also, one of you recommended this to me, so yeah, that's also a reason why I want to try this series. Next, there is Daughter of Crows. I have read Book of Ancestors series by Mark Lawrence, and I really like that. I saw this book cover, read that it is high fantasy and dark academia, and I really do not need anything more. Hopefully I will get to this soon. Okay, and now last one on this page is Divergent, and I don't think I need to tell you what this is about. I have to admit, I have never read these books. Never. I have watched the movies multiple times, but I have never read these books. I really want to give this a chance. Okay, let's put it a bit higher. Okay, the left page. Let's start with Doll Makers. I already started this book as well, and I so hate the main character. This girl is so insufferable, but the world is very interesting. There are these monsters, they are called Shot, that are attacking this one area, and people who live in there are creating these dolls that fight these monsters, and there are so many rules for all of that and all that stuff, and it seems really interesting. Only the main character is awful. She is supposed to be awful, I know, but it does not make reading this book any easier for me. Okay, next is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I saw someone review this book, and I don't know what it was exactly about. I just remember that I wanted to read this. All I know that this is historical fiction and romance about two women in space. There might be more of them. As I said, I don't know, but I'm curious. Okay, then we have Starless Sea. Okay, what was this about? I have just read the description. It is about a guy who finds a mysterious book. There are many stories in this book, and one of them is about his childhood. So he decides to investigate more, and something happens, and he finds underground library or something like that. I really have no idea. All I know is that I want to read this book. It is by the same author as The Night Circus, and I loved that. I know this will be totally different than that, but I really want to read something more from Erin Morgenstern, so that's my pick. I have no idea if there are more books by this author. I should definitely check it out. Okay, and the last book on this spread is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and this is one of my friends' pick for our book club. So I'm trying to know as little about this book as possible. All I know is that it is about a woman that is forgettable for everyone until one day she isn't, until one day one person remembers her. That's about everything I know about this book, and I really don't need to know anything more. And that's it for this spread. It is not my favorite, but honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I guess that's fine. Okay, maybe I could put one more flower in there. Maybe this lighter one. Well, I don't think I will be able to unpeel those book covers, so I might just do this and cut around. Because this paper is so thin that you can't really unpeel stuff because the paper goes with it. And a light blue flower in here. I kind of like this much more now. Let's do this one in here. I really have to stop putting stuff on this page. Let's flip to the last spread I will work on today. And I need to somehow make these two book covers work with these for, well, they are all TV series, so these for TV series posters. I thought I had picked some movies, apparently I did not. Maybe I could do like TV series here, books here, which makes it kind of awkward. I should really have thought about this beforehand, but it is fine. And there is one washi tape that was a main reason why I decided to make my summer TBR list. That's this one, and I have not used it yet, so maybe it is time. It is very green and colorful, but you know what, maybe it does not matter. Maybe I don't have to color code everything, and maybe I can just have fun with this beautiful stationery. And I'm thinking I will do some kind of like scenery at the bottom of this page out of these. I would love this girl in this corner, so let's do that. It is a bit fiddly, but it's adorable, so I don't mind. Maybe this in the middle. This amount of green is not the same as in here, but I think we can just not look at that. Just do not look there. Let's pretend this is not happening. Okay, and these people here, I need to cut something off. What? The tape that's underneath. Maybe I could put this plant here. Maybe this would be less awkward, and I kind of want to have a bit more height in there, so let's use this flower. This girl, or this one, just because she has less green, so she might work better with the covers I put in here. So maybe we could have her like this, and I will put this bird in here. This writing, I have absolutely no idea what that means, but I kind of want to fill in this space, so I'm going to use that and hope it does not mean anything weird. I'm going to use these birds. They are so adorable, so colorful. I'm going to use all of them. Okay, let's have these darker ones on the top, so they are slightly better matching with the cover pages. Oh, there are these clouds, so let's have one in here and one maybe like this. I might use more of these birds, so one more red one, and I'd use it here, and one of these darker ones maybe here. Okay, this definitely screams I had no idea what to put on this page, so I put birds everywhere. But you know what, I don't really mind, I kind of like this, so I'm just going with that, and I'm going to put the covers in there now, before I change my mind. Japanese Gothic. It is, I feel, kind of everywhere right now. Many people are talking about it. It is by Kaylee Lee Baker, and she has written the Bat Eater and other names for Korazeng, and I kind of like that, so I'm giving this one a go. This is supposed to be about a guy that killed someone, but he does not remember anything about that, and he flees to Japan, and he lives in this old house, and mysterious and weird things are happening in there. There is this window in his bedroom that is not always a window. I don't know what that means. And there is sometimes a girl appearing near the house that has a sword in her hand. I don't know. And then there is another timeline about this samurai girl. She is hiding, but the soldiers are coming, and she knows that they are going to kill her family, and just before they do that, she notices a kind of modern man in the window. I have no idea if I read that correctly, but this is what I gathered from the synopsis, and it sounds really amazing. There will be either some kind of time traveling or a ghost story or whatever. I have no idea what to expect from this book, but I am really curious to see. And the next one is Gallant. Okay, what this is about? It is about a girl that comes home, and they live in the manor, I guess, and she discovers alternative type of this manor. I have no idea. I have just read the synopsis. I liked that, and I decided to read this book. As I said, I don't really mind that I do not remember what the book is about, because I like to be kind of surprised. And all I know is that this is gothic horror, and I really like that genre, so I think I will like this book. And this is gothic horror as well. So yeah, I am extremely excited about these two books. And now the series, I don't really have that much to say about this. Okay, let's maybe do this. So The Pit, this is the picture for season 2, I hope. I have finished season 1 and I loved this. Season 2 I am watching with 2 of my friends, so of course we are watching it much more slowly because there are 3 of us that need to have time to watch this. So yeah, it is taking forever. I would love to have this already watched, but it is what it is, and I am enjoying watching this with my friends. So The Pit. Now, Adolescence, I think this came out last year, and it is about 13-year-old guy who gets arrested because of the murder in his school, something like that. And my friend saw this and she said it is absolutely incredible and that I need to watch this. Also, what I know about this series is that every single episode is only one take, which must have been incredibly difficult to film. I am really curious about this TV series. And next one that was recommended to me by the same friend is Painkiller, and it is about the opioid crisis. She said it was very interesting, so I am curious about this one as well. And the last one is The Other Bennett Sister. Of course, I am interested in this, and I have seen a few short scenes from this and I loved this, so hopefully I will have a good time with this. And that's about everything for the series I want to watch. And yes, this page looks quite weird, I'm not going to lie. You know what, I am extremely excited. I could use these washi tapes and I'm having lots of fun putting stuff on these pages. So I think I will just have lots and lots of birds, because why not? Let's have the green ones in here, and I have one more red, so I can put that there, a cloud in there as well, slightly behind this book, behind this one. Let's do green. I have just noticed this tape on my table, so I decided I'm going to use something. Well, I need to find ending first. Some of the stars could be used in here. Why not? I'm going to try. It might look weird, but with some of the book covers and TV posters being dark, I kind of feel like it will make it better. I don't want to add that many, so I think this should be fine. And I realized I have not put year on any of the pages, especially not on the cover page. And I would love to do that. Maybe I could use this washi tape, maybe put it like this in here or in here. Well, it will get very lost on this page, so maybe just up there. Yeah, that might look kind of nice. I am not using this journal much anymore, and having years I have made each of these, I think will be very helpful. So I am really glad I noticed this tape being on my table. Perfect. I also want to see if I can add maybe a branch like this there, or maybe I could just move this leaf there. Okay, let's try. Yeah, I like that. Perfect. And that's, I guess, everything for today's video. I hope you had a good time. I know I was very undecisive while working on these pages, but that's what usually happens, and I hope it was not that boring. And I also hope I have given you some ideas about what to read in the summer, and if you have read any of those, please let me know in the comments below. I am really curious to see about your opinions about all of these books, also all of this series. So if you have watched or read any of these, please let me know down in the comments. And with that, I hope you will have absolutely a lovely day and a beautiful summer, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.